Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Den of John House. We are doing some comments today. I know it's been a minute since we've taken a look at the comments, but I'm excited to get back into it. I figured what I'd do is we'll just start back with the monochrome one take reaction, and then just like do the comments from that video forward. Everything between like the last comment video and whatever is just like null and void. That's just how we're gonna do it. There's already a lot to dig into as it is. So good news though, it does seem that my schedule has stabilized, so hopefully you'll get these comments videos more regularly as we move forward. I know a lot of you do enjoy them, so excited to dig back in. So, with that being said, lots of flagrant self-promotion that we don't really need to talk about. There's links in the description if you want to go and support your favorite creator. Then you can check out the Patreon, $1 a month. Really kind of just like, it's a one and done thing. The idea is that, you know, if a street performer gets you to stop, then you owe them $1. So, you know, that's what that really is for. But with the added benefit that you get early access to some of my content. And then $3.50 a month is the cover charge. That helps, keeps the lights on around this place, and funds my insane obsession with just like projects upon projects. So that, and there is a $10 tier as well for you art freaks out there who want to know about the projects that I am working on. So if you don't like links though, and you don't like clicking on them, and you don't want to move to a different page or whatever, all that stuff, blue letters killed your parents, I don't know what happened, then super thanks are active. Once again, they were inactive for a while because YouTube was like, hey buddy, here's the thing, do this, and then you can have super thanks back. So I did the thing, and they gave me super thanks back. So they're now reactivated on the chat. You didn't even know that they were gone, but because I wasn't doing comment videos, so it's kind of like the timing was fortuitous there. Anyway, that's about all I have to say to start this one. So we're just gonna go ahead and dig right into the comments here. So, all right, kicking things off as usual, Mr. Jake Muller, faithful commenter and subscriber, and educator to yours truly. So he says, "Don't worry, like with the new singles, this version isn't getting any copyright blocked issues. BABYMETAL is flexing once again, like for real. I listened to it again right before I did that, and it's insane. Like this version is insane. She got everything she needs to deliver the emotions of a song. After all, she's been doing this since she was a toddler. BABYMETAL fans already know one-off versions like this thanks to Akatsuki unfinished version and the one Stairway to Living Legend. Both of those I really want to check out because the one-take performances are just like my favorites. So. Or even the softer acoustic part of the one live, but this one got the plus and bonus to get attraction for new viewers and reactors. I'm so glad to see that. Thanks for sharing, and put your kitsunes up. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the comment. Next up, the Elf says, I've seen reactors cry from the emotional singing, but then to read the lyrics and find out where BABYMETAL is from makes it even more emotional. Boop. Yeah, definitely, like no arguments there, and I think that is part of what allows her to dig into, because I did the so for those of you who might not know, if you're not on the Patreon, I did the full album reaction, the other one, so the whole thing from start to finish, all 10 tracks, and I subbed in, one of the Patreon subscribers was kind enough to provide me with a link to the live concert that they did that featured, I think, 5 of the 10 songs. So I subbed in the live versions of those songs for, you know, that spot in the album. So you really get a sense for what the tracks are supposed to be, and the whole album is insane, man. It's fucking amazing. So YouTube, you're gonna get, I think, probably 5 reactions out of the whole thing. You'll get the studio versions of that, and then I'll keep the live versions exclusive to the Patreon. So that's just what I'm gonna do. That's just you know how we're working it. So for $3.50 a month, you can head over to the Patreon and check out the whole thing. It's like 2 hours long, or an hour and 50 minutes, you know, to sit with the album and talk about it as we go through. So yeah, definitely feel free to go check that out. And once again, thank you for the comments there. Rod22 up next says, yep, I feel it as well. I have read from fans that attended the recent concerts in Japan last month, and it was said during the live performance of Monochrome, Suzuka addressed the audience and asked, "Turn on your lights." They did. She did. She did. You can see that in my reaction on the Patreon from the cell phones. And she did. Yep, that's amazing. And they look like stars. Yep. She then proceeded to hum some. Yes. Yeah, like that was real. Like you could feel the whole thing building. It was amazing. Mesmerizing. Appreciate the comment, sir. Next up, End says, yeah, I've seen the pic of it too, forgot though, but it gave me chills. Literally looks like stars. And Sue was humming and simply vibing in that part too. Like, yeah. It was really a spectacle. Really. I couldn't imagine what it would be like to actually be there. And then Sariga Molodets says, there is a fan cam of this and it's truly mesmerizing. Boop, boop, boop. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate the comments. Next up, we have Kit Kat with some Japanese. Cool. Appreciate it. I don't speak Japanese yet. Still appreciate the comport. Comport. There you go. Support. Faithful commenter and subscriber. Kevin Higgins responds, they make me proud. Nobody has done that before. Boop. Kit Kat agrees. And Michael M chimes in, if only I could place that jewel on a ring for consistent remembrance. Not sure what you're referencing, but, I appreciate the comments anyway. Thank you. Kit Kat responds, brilliant idea. So apparently this is a very good idea from Michael M. Grington 300 says, excellent reaction. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. They really are gifted and very special. Boop. No arguments. Sariga Molodets also says, drop some emojis. Just smile times 100,000. Boop. No arguments. Mr. Rick Cadger says, this hit hard the first time I watched it. Now I have a little distance from my initial emotional reaction. The thing I noticed most is how much more vibrato Sue is using than we usually hear from her. Interesting. Huh. Boop. I'm not sure that I picked that up because I don't know that I have enough reference for Sue generally to be able to differentiate. Because she doesn't use all that much vibrato at all, like ever. So maybe with that in mind, next time I listen to it, I'll keep it in ear out. Pajmak says she does not use almost any vibrato here, if any. The tones she is using have a progression. That's what you might be hearing instead of vibrato. Again, I don't know about that, but appreciate the comment anyway. Rick Cadger also responds, are we listening to the same recording? It's subtle and often only at the end of a held note, but it's considerably more present than in most of her recordings or performances. And I think this is like the point that I just made, that like she uses hardly any ever, so even just a little bit will probably be more than we're used to hearing from her. He goes on to say, perhaps it's the stripped back nature of the performance, but I have noticed how steady and entirely vibrato free her notes usually seem, as much as I noticed the subtle vibrato in the first take. She's no Pavarotti. I don't know who that is, but I appreciate the I'm interested to know. But there is vibrato there. And what do you mean by the tone she is using have a progression? Can you be more specific? Well, considering that was 2 weeks ago, I don't think you can, so I guess I'm gonna. Why would I apologize for him? What is your problem? I'm a little rusty, ladies and gentlemen. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Next up, Roadrunner says, excellent reaction and analysis as always. Well, thank you, buddy. Thanks. We already knew that Sue Metal was able to convey the emotions like no other, but this is so freaking amazing. And it's still hitting hard for me emotionally. Loved your breakdown of the piano arrangements by Koda Hatamiya, aka Hatamiya Metal, and Takehiro Mamiya, aka Uyopi, aka BABYMETAL, who is also the original composer of the song. We always talk about the girls and the Kamis or even Koba, but sometimes it's important to shout out them as well. Boop. No arguments. Again, because like I said, I listened to this right before I started doing this video. Listened to the track again, and like the piano arrangement is mind-blowingly good. Like it's simple and elegant, and yet rich, complex, and there's a depth to it. It's just, yeah, beautiful. Next up, Mr. Edmund Wu says, Moa Metal's vocals and sound are well-rounded and warm to soften Su Metal's edgy vocals. It sounds like something I would say. It creates a contrasting space in the room to settle in. No arguments. Well stated, sir. Well stated. Boop. Appreciate it. Otto Kme says, thanks for this reaction, and congrats, you broke down the instrumentals more than any other reaction of this performance. Obviously, there was a lot to focus on the vocals by most, and an amazing description of what Su Metal is doing here. And best description of what Moa is doing. It's the attention to detail that gets me. Yes, I've said that on more than one occasion. Because it's true. Yes. He goes on to say, yes, or she, or they, whoever. It's the precision of everything that was done to create it, and how much work was done to prepare them. How much work was done to prepare and then perform it live in the studio and deliver it perfectly. I've once heard someone on a metal podcast said about BABYMETAL, it sounds like $1 million, and that's probably what they spent on it. I can see that. You might see it as a gift. I do. But for BABYMETAL, it was probably great PR, a fun project, and something they had wanted to do for a while now. It's kind of a prestigious channel in Japan. Kind of funny how Su Metal does more dancing than Moa in this performance. I mean, I'm sure it was all of these things, like great PR and a fun project and, you know, something they wanted to do for a while now. I'm sure it was all of those things, but it also felt like unnecessary in a lot of ways. And so I think that's part of why it felt so much like it was just kind of like airdropped out of nowhere. Like, here, have this. Like, fucking awesome. Yes, please. Thank you. More. Okay, here we go. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Zilch634 says, to think that the three in white were the three that represented BABYMETAL at the time. Seeing these girls holding their little hands all the time and doing their best makes me cry. I'm so glad BABYMETAL is back now. Even as the first take, this time it is a special BABYMETAL version. Usually they are shot in a white studio wearing headphones made by our sponsor, Sony. And as usual with BABYMETAL, it is not only a great performance, but also a special production that tells a story and leaves a mystery to us fans who want to go back next time. Just like the usual BABYMETAL concerts, we won't know the identity of those three in white until April 1st. You know, I just realized that I have made no comments about the April 1st reveal, and given that it's April 3rd, I probably should have. So what's gonna have to happen, I think, is I'm gonna have to record something and then splice it into the beginning of the video or something, just to touch base on it. I don't know. We'll see. Boop. Appreciate the comment, sir. Thank you. Also, to be clear, about the only thing I know about the new member is that her name is Momo Metal. That's about it. That's about all I got. So it's not that I have a whole lot to comment on about it. It's just, again, free time being what it is, I have to be very efficient with how I use my free time. Next up, Marty Metal says, excellent content, John Metal. Oh, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that you refer to me as John Metal. I do. I appreciate that. That's a little thing, but it gets me. Thank you. Sue has recently said that she was shocked how fans interpreted the meaning of the regular version, so I think she made this even more emotional for this performance. When that lady finally retires, she can look back on a very long trail of tears maybe enough to drown all the haters. Well said. Well spoken, sir. Boop. Appreciate it. Next up, Draculus666 says, in the recent interview, Sue mentioned that Monochrome as a song was written about 5 years ago. But the song that Sue was hesitant to perform was No Rain, No Rainbow. Okay, all right. So there was maybe not, I didn't cross all the wires there, but there was a little bit of overlap. She did it 3 times, I think. And as far as I remember, she felt that she is ready around 2017 for the Baptism XX show, her 20s birthday. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Thank you very much. Next up, EMB says, John, excellent analysis of this performance. Well, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. This song is just amazing in every way. Like you said, it's a gift. I believe that. I feel that way. And per usual, BABYMETAL infused some symbolism or cryptic messages for the fans with the 3 girls in white and showing them reaching out and holding hands. So emotional, so gorgeous, a wonderful gift for us to experience over and over. And as far as I can tell, no one has been having issues with this video getting blocked. No, not only did the video not get blocked, but it was actually monetizable, so that was really cool. They there was a rev sharing available for the video, so that was like really awesome. Yeah. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Next up, Delilah, Delilah X, says only 2 words: perfection and incredible. Boop. No arguments. Next up, Rebecca Snyder says, simply breathtaking. Sue Metal sounds like an angel. Thanks for the reaction. Good job. Well, thank you. I appreciate the comment. It means a lot. Boop. Metal Lovers next up says, before it, them already... Okay, so before this, there were a couple of other, I think, one-take songs or acoustic versions that they did. So he lists the Akatsuki, No Rain, No Rainbow, and their 10, and the 1. Yeah, so the other ones that we've talked about already in the video. So I appreciate the comment and appreciate the elucidation for yours truly. Next up, the Tefla Panzer 6. I have no idea what that word is. Great reaction and talking points once again, John. Oh, thank you. Sue is amazing and very happy very happy that Moa was included as well. I would really like to hear a solo Moa Metal song one day. Same here. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Next up, Yesif Gaton says the story is this was written 5 years ago for Yui when she became ill and had to leave the band. In the song, the band dreams we would stay forever, but the bright star that was shining yesterday, I don't know what to say, is fading away. Wanted to be by your side for a while. Warmth, I want to feel. You don't have to say it. Will vanish eventually in the dusk. What will we see? No matter how long the night, the morning will arrive. She? Illuminating the world in rainbow colors by just smiling. The 3 backing singers holding hands, maybe hinting that one day soon they will be reunited with their dear friend Yui, or is always in their hearts. The song is so emotional, whichever way you look at it. Sue and Moa at their very best. So good. Yui, please be well and happy where you are. Boop. Appreciate the comment. We know now that it's a brand new member to the band, Momo Metal, so... Rick Wagner responds, no one on the BABYMETAL team has put any forth such explanations for this song. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Ranton Grodent 416 also says, first time I've heard anything like this. Where did you hear this? Apparently there's some confusion in this comments. So of course there's a story that's only found on the YouTube comments. So Mr. Leo, appreciate it. Boop. Appreciate it. Next up, TK Pie Metal says a whole bunch of stuff in Japanese, so that's cool. I really appreciate that. I can't read it, but boop, you still get a like, so thanks for commenting. Appreciate the support. Next up, Michael M. says, "It's a gift," quoting me. Well, that's probably the most accurate comment I've heard. I should provide detailed thoughts or praise, but you already hit the nail on the head. Sue and Moa are simply a gift to humanity, in my opinion. Boop. No arguments. Next up, Taipan says, "I feel like the release of this video is a huge and unexpected gift from BABYMETAL." Yes, for sure. Never before has a song or performance felt so intimate, and that's true. Except for, sorry about that. Except for maybe the live version from the concert. Yeah, also felt that way. He goes on to say, "I've watched this dozens of times over the last few days, and it has lost nothing of its effect. It still blows me away every time, and it feels like an important step for BABYMETAL." I agree with that 100%. This does feel like a big step for BABYMETAL. Very important. Because now none of the haters can deny that she is a great singer. We're not even going to talk about the haters. Not that that's going to stop them. At some point, we might look back on this performance as the one that started to earn BABYMETAL the respect that they deserve. Boop. You get a heart, buddy. Great comment. Thank you. Boop. Sarkani Soljitsig says, "Oh my god, yes." Agreed. Next up, Mr. Rick Wagner drops some emojis and says, "You're probably thinking of No Rain, No Rainbow." Yep, we cleared that confusion up already. That's the one that was performed several times before it was recorded as part of the Metal Resistance 2016 album. It debuted in June, on June 30th, 2013, and was performed again during the Budokan Black Night 2014. Boop. Appreciate the context there. Thank you very much. Next up, Mr. Herbert Schock says, "BABYMETAL needs to put out an unplugged album." Yo, for real. Even in this simple environment, Sue is still the perfect performer. With her expression and gestures, Akatsuki Unfinished is still my tearjerker from Sue, but this is running a close second in terms of emotional performances. Sorry, No Rain, No Rainbow from Legend SXX. I've seen some of the other first takes, and I think Sue just set a whole new bar that's going to be hard to surpass. Boop. Appreciate the comment, and no arguments. Next up, Kelvin Lunos says, "When did you start crying?" This may be the best thing I've ever seen, 20 plus views, and I at least tear up every time. It was amazing how they still included theatrics, and in typical Kobo Metal style, they included a crazy, confusing hint about the future of the hooded backup sing. Yes. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Ding JK says, "Yes, now I need a cigarette and a glass of wine." Does feel like that sometimes. Boop. Mr. Mike Powers, next up, says, "I have watched this many times and I tear up every time. It is beautiful. I do wish we could see a little more before or after, just to see the girls out of character a little. I was hoping to see a little Suzuka Nakamoto and Moa Kukichi show up." Still amazing. Yes, sir. Still amazing. Boop. Maybe one day we'll get a little bit a glimpse with their hair down, so to speak. Darkly Tranquil next up says, "This version really hits different, and it's somehow so much more powerful by being stripped back and just letting Sue's incredible voice carry the emotions of the song." Agreed. Very well stated, sir. I've always said that Sue's greatest gift is her ability to convey emotions across the language barrier with her voice. Yes! The language barrier poses no problem for the emotional content. He goes on to say, "You don't need to know a word of Japanese to understand what Sue is expressing when she sings. The piano arrangement and performance for this song was done by Kota Hatamiya, who has been granted the title of Hatamiya Medal by Team BABYMETAL." Boop. Cool. Good stuff. Next up, Texas Veteran Patriot says, "A much more sad tone of this version. The image of what once stood... Hold on. The image of what once stood and a hint of what's to be. A kind of saying goodbye to the original sisterhood." Boop. Appreciate it. Next up, oh goodness, Cameo says the comments are disturbing the music and it's noisy. If you respect the music, you have to think about how to comment. Is there any extra explanation for this wonderful singing voice of Sue? That comment is just disturbing her. Well, I don't think my comments are disturbing her. But, you know, the random spike in audio noise could have disturbed you. Definitely disturbed me a little bit. Is it disturbing her? Okay. I don't know what to make of this comment. Boop. I don't know why you're here. It's not the first. This is not the first video you've commented on with this like an equally ambiguous point of criticism. Like, I don't know what you're trying to tell me. And so this dude responds. John House says, "What are you trying to say? You know this is a reaction analysis video, right? Which means I'm supposed to stop and make comments. You know, that's what we're supposed to do. Also, you've watched plenty of my videos, so you know me by now. Oh, Lucifer Oz, he changed his name. Camille, you were Lucifer Oz at one point. If you're still here, it's entirely on you. Again, also that. If you're still watching my videos, then like, yeah, you know what you're doing. Boop. Appreciate the comments. Regardless. Next up, Joseph Dew. Drop some emojis. Thanks for watching, buddy. Appreciate it. Farron says, I think with this performance, with the two of them, and especially with Dear Suzuka, left quite some people speechless. Agreed. I mean, I never questioned that she's a good singer, but what she presented vocally with the last singles already and finally with this performance is simply amazing. The concert itself, too, just like out of control, man. Once again, that whole reaction is already on the Patreon. It's $3.50 a month. You can go watch both parts. You need to set some time aside because it's like, again, probably like 2 hours worth of content, but it's on there. You can go watch it. Very good. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Next up, Blazing Soul says, this hits hard and really I think is a rebuke of some of the critics who wrote these ladies off. Kami Band is great, but make no mistake here. Sue Metal and Moa are the glue that makes this band work so well. This just proves it here as definitely an in-your-face mic drop moment. Yes, absolutely. Then when one realizes that their first performance was at Summer Sonic at the ripe old age of 12, I think 11, somewhere around there. Yeah, not old. It definitely puts things into proper perspective. You don't last 13 years without complete dedication to your craft. To do so at 12 just makes them all the more badass. Boop. No arguments. Well stated, sir. Appreciate the comment. Next up, DPAL072 says, yep, 5 years apparently, and it's gold. Legitimately. I guess they wanted her to have the right tone to master it, like she does here. And yeah, Moa's chorus is it's a very relevant layer and makes it way more emotional. I love all the available versions of this one, the original recording, the piano version, and the live one. All different, yet outstanding. Boop. No arguments. Really, it's a fascinating song. Next up, Black Arrow says, if you like this kind of acoustic oh, this was 6 hours ago. We're getting close to the end. Are we at the end? This is the end. Okay. If you like this kind of acoustic versions, BABYMETAL did it already twice with the One and Akatsuki Unfinished. Yep. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate the insight and the context for the performance. So, yeah, but that's it. We got to the end. We did it. We did all of them today. So, and in less than 30 minutes, so not bad. But that is going to do it for me from this one, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. You can drop a super thanks if you want to show your support that way, or head over to the Patreon and check out the full album reaction for yourself. So, yeah, that's going to do it. I'm going to get out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. We'll catch you in the next one.